Okay. Okay, so University of Miami Jackson Memorial Hospital, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Morehouse School of Medicine, Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University, University of Florida Pediatric Residency in Pensacola, and Advent Health for Children Pediatric Residency in Orlando, Florida. These are all of the programs that are going to be presenting today. So if you guys are ready, I am ready to go. Okay, University of Miami Jackson Memorial Hospital, we're going to be having Dr. Sandoval and Dr. Wiener here to present to us today, okay?
All right, I think it's my time, so I believe I have 5 minutes. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm the first presenter, so I'm lucky to welcome you to our session. We're very happy to have you, and I'm sure you guys are gonna have lots of good information out of the region, as we heard already, and then for each and individual program for you to know and be able to make your choices. So we're here to present who we are. It's a very brief speech. So our program, it's a medium to large program. We have 22 residents per class, which makes us 66. We also support the medicine PIDS, the MedPIDS program. So they're 20, we're about 86 residents, at large in the residency. I have a few points out of my program today. So the first one is that we are the largest safety net program hospital in the region, probably one of the largest in the country. This makes us special because the kind of population we serve is the population that is in most need. That makes our population very diverse, not only for their ethnicity and languages, but culture and socioeconomic background. Second point is that being a safety net hospital, we deliver quaternary care to these patients. So if you put it together, we provide very high specialized care to a population that would not have access to this type of care otherwise. So we're very proud about being able to provide this care, and it's our responsibility to do so. Our patients come from the US, but also we have a good influence in the Caribbean and Latin America, which makes us, diverse in the very big sense of the word. Our residents grow autonomy in taking care of these complex patients, not only medically, but as I explained to you, socially and socioeconomically. We have fellows, but our residents are our primary caretakers for our patients. So it makes us feel that we're able to grow the resident and support the resident to grow not only medically, but also as a person. Our goal in the program really is, and our commitment is to help you or help any resident that comes to us to be the best pediatrician you can be and want to be. So that is kind of our goal. The third point that I want to make is that the diversity is not only in the population that we serve, but it also in the program per se. Diversity is something that has been in our core blood and bone for many years in our program. We're very proud of it. It's an intentional effort to keep it up, not only for recruitment, but also for keeping up our residents. Although our residents do go for the next steps in their life, wherever they want to go. We have about 70% of our residents staying in the fellowship tracks. We have 9 fellowships, so they either stay here or go to the fellowship of their choice, and about 30% go to primary care, which they do and establish their practices very successfully, and we're very happy to see their growth. The other point that I want to make is that even though we are in this large community, diverse community, we do feel like a family. I wanted to point out at the beginning and now that the support net that we have in the hospital and in the program that we crafted is to help you or help anybody to succeed in all areas. We all know that when residencies start, life do not stop, meaning that there will be events, there will be weddings, or maybe other events that are unpredictable that are gonna come your way or our way, and we're here to support it. COVID taught us that wellness is very important. So we do believe that we have a good network of support. And for me as program director, the most important program that we have is mentoring. We believe that we keep a good relationship, mentoring relationship with the residents. We have an open communication for everything, for wellness, for projects, for development, and for doing good academically. I would invite you to follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram page is resident-led. You will see the live, the breathing, the posting, how they really feel and live being here. So I would just encourage you to do that. If you look, I think it's nicely how it depicts the life and the camaraderie of the residents. Our residents classes, I always joke about this, but they all feel that they're the best class ever. And I tell them, you should feel like that. I felt like that when it was my class. And if you feel like that, it means that it's a good match. So I'm about to the 5 minutes now. I am going to stop here. My chief, maybe a brief comment or anything you guys want to add?
Yes, sure. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Pretty much what Dr. Alba just mentioned, we're a very diverse program that adapts very well to a diverse environment, which is Miami, a very vibrant and exciting city with amazing beaches and amazing weather. We also are a part of a large health system with the University of Miami. So that will give you an amazing experience of being a part of a safety net and also being a part of the academics and all the advantages that being a part of the University of Miami implies. So we can wait to have you for the application season, and please join us and follow us at Holt's Residency on Instagram and just get to know us better. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sandoval. That was amazing. So now we're going to go on to the next program. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat box and we can address them during the Q&A at the end of the session. Okay, so this is Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital located in St. Petersburg, Florida. We're going to have Dr. Hopkins and Dr. Jones present to us today.
Hi everybody. My name is Akshata Hopkins, and it is just a coincidence that my last name is also Hopkins, but I do get asked that a lot, so I'm just going to put that out there. Not related. So we are Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida. And our program is one that's really special in the sense, I can tell its history from its start, and so can Dawn. Dawn's been the coordinator for the program since its start. We graduated our first class in 2017. And our commitment has been and continues to grow to be that we're training the next generation of leaders in pediatrics, in clinical care, research, and education. One of the things that we really harp and want to make sure for residents to know is why this patient, why now? Why did we go into medicine? Why did we go into pediatrics? And that question is something that aligns with our mission. So when asked to give the program highlights, we wanted to put our mission statement. And this mission statement was created by our residents and our faculty 1 to 2 years actually into having our residency program. So there was a lot of time and reflection put into creating this. And it's something that we're always going back to, regardless of what changes are kind of put in our way, like COVID and other things that have happened. It allows us to anchor down. And so we value the culture of diversity and inclusion and health equity, and inquiring and being curious. We have an environment of wellness and camaraderie. I mean, I tell the residents, they're like my other 36 children. I have 2, and then there's 36. And I know Dawn feels the same way. As far as wellness, that definition has very much broadened, and we really are committed to not just provide the support and mentorship and coaching for you to be the best pediatrician, but also just the best overall person that you can be, and remembering all the elements that have brought you to this. So as far as our curriculum, what really is unique for us is that we have 6-week blocks instead of 4-week rotations, and we have integrated simulation and didactics within this. As I said, we focus very much on the individual, personalized. All of our programs are amazing, and we all have accreditations that we need to keep up with. And so you're going to get the training that you want at any of our wonderful programs. We have individualized rotations and scholarship rotations where you'll be linked with rotation directors and advisors to really say, okay, how are you going to get from point A to point B? Because it's different from one resident to the next. And that's actually been a lot of fun to try and figure out how to help coach residents, even when maybe it's something that we haven't seen before, and we kind of figure it out together. Advocacy is also integrated into it, and we have 3 very unique immersive curriculum, all designated around leadership and executive academic development, talking about the hidden curriculum, a lot of intentional reflection time, and professionalism, and then humanism and the patient experience to really understand healthcare from the patients and the family standpoint, as well as the rest of the healthcare staff. We're actually in that right now this week. And so we have simulation that's built into that as well. And small learning communities, sort of like the houses in Harry Potter, where it's small learning communities, and it's built into our schedule where we meet every 2 weeks. And so there's always that touch point, and that's been extremely helpful, especially during challenging times nationally and the hardships that we've all been experiencing. We have a significant number of diversity initiatives, both within our program as well as within the hospital. And right now it's an exciting time in the sense that we're realizing even more needs that our community has and how we can help kind of put the link together, especially with the school system, for example. As far as details, we have 12 residents per class. And what has been fascinating is, we've had a diverse group from all over the country. The small learning communities, like I mentioned. And if I look at it overall, about 60% go into fellowship, and then about 40% in Gen Peds. And so I want to ask Dawn, our amazing program coordinator, to say a few words about St. Pete. She has been here from the beginning. She grew up.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name's Dawn Jones. I want to tell you a little bit about St. Petersburg. So if you're not familiar with Florida, put the state of Florida in your mind. We're on the Gulf of Mexico side, and we're the little uvula, that little peninsula on a peninsula. So that's where we're located, on the Gulf of Mexico. We have lots of professional sports teams here. We have the Buccaneers, who Tom Brady, and they're the Super Bowl champs. We have the Tampa Bay Rays, and also the 2-time Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So if you're a big sports fan, that is definitely a draw to the area. And I forgot to mention the Rowdies, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They are our professional soccer team here. Food, 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 and food. Residents love the food. They love talking about going out to eat. Right now is in Orlando at the, what is the food festival going on?
Epcot
food festival. So lots of talking about food. We also have a lot of art in our community too. We have the only Dali museum with the largest Salvador Dali collection here. We also have the Chihuly Museum, that's the glass artist. We also have a very vibrant mural community here where artists around the community paint murals on the walls. We also are home to the Florida Orchestra, so you can be a season ticket holder for the Florida Orchestra too. We have beautiful beaches here, and we do have seasons here. We have seasons. We have strawberry season. We have stone crab claw season. We have mango season. We have hurricane season, but we know how to deal with hurricane season. So we do have seasons here for those of you who are afraid to come to the south and not experience the changing of the leaves. So it was great to meet you all. And when you see Dr. Coca and Dr. McAtee tonight, make sure you ask them about yoga and lead. Right now we're going through lead, so you have to ask them about lead. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hopkins and Dr. Jones. That was perfect. So now we're going to move on to our next program. Just remember to drop your questions in the chat and we can address them at the end of the session. Thanks, guys. All right, and this is Morehouse School of Medicine located in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Dr. Gardner and Dr. Albritton.
Hi, everybody. As introduced, I am Lynn Gardner, Program Director at Morehouse School of Medicine, and I'm going to share this presentation with my Associate Program Director, Dr. Brooks. She is here, and Anita Albritton is our Program Manager, who's not here because we try to stick it with, just like we did with two folks to represent the program, so she'll be on shortly. But I am excited to be able to tell you guys a little bit about Morehouse. I'm going to just say off the bat, we have an incredible program. We have a wonderful, rich, dynamic program. And a lot of it has to do with where we are, but most of it has to do with who we are. And we are, of course, in Atlanta. We boast, because we have a small program, we're 6 residents per year. So we have the benefits that come with a small program, really knowing each other, knowing when things are happening, but we have the resources of a big program. So that's really awesome. So our faculty are, of course, our core faculty at the School of Medicine. We have the resources of the hospital physicians and a very rich component of community physicians. It's just amazing how many, and we all know this, amazing teachers that we have in our private offices in the city. So a really awesome mix for the house staff for being able to really be exposed to physicians that are in different settings and different environments, and being able to see what things are very common, which is the teaching component, and what your approach to patient care. There's just enough difference there to make it, I think, really worth their while. But then a lot of the differences too, so they get a nice smattering of all of different ways that you can actually serve patients. So we are happy about all of that. So the residents finish up. They are really good doctors, really able to take care of patients, like is true for everybody on the that's represented here today. We also have, highlight this, and then I'll turn the baton over to Dr. Brooks, but our health equity, social determinants of health curriculum, we are really committed to that, helping the residents understand what does it really mean. We say it so much that it's almost become cliche, kind of, we just say it a lot. But what does it really mean? Why is it important? So the residents, I think, really are hungry to understand definitions, and then how do you apply it in a way that's meaningful? So these sorts of things, we have a nice core rotation at the beginning of residency for our interns that give them a real good foundation for it in a lot of the areas that we've had to kind of pick and choose to give them at least know what they're talking about. And then social determinants of health, inequities, diversity when it comes to patient care, et cetera, it's woven into every rotation that they have. So they ought to be able to do it in their sleep when they leave, that it's almost a natural thing that they would incorporate it really holistically as they care for patients. So we feel really proud of that. And then as far as diversity efforts, we really focus on trying to find residents from different geographic locations, different cultural backgrounds, different educational pursuits. So, for example, we have a resident who majored in Egyptology, for example, and so had her do a grand rounds on, Egypt's contribution to modern medicine, that sort of thing. And so just really focusing on it from that standpoint. So we have a lot to offer. Our program, like I said, is a smaller program. Lot and lot of richness in there. The residents don't want for anything. Subspecialty opportunities are available in abundance for them. About 70% of our residents go into general pediatrics. That's including inpatient hospital medicine. So it's probably going to morph just a little bit, that number. 30% of them go into fellowships. If we change it, it'll increase a little bit. But we do have a general pediatrics focus, but the door is wide open for subspecialty to do fellowships, and we certainly have the substrate to give the residents what they need to make that decision. So with that, I'm going to pass the baton to Dr. Brooks.
Thanks, Dr. Gardner. As Dr. Gardner said, I'm Dr. Brooks. I have been with the institution for 16 years. So I'm one of the people who came for residency, and I fell in love with the program and what we get to do, the people we get to serve, as well as our residents. I stayed on as a chief resident, and I've been faculty ever since. I also fell in love with the city of Atlanta and haven't been back home, and haven't thought about moving back home to Virginia, actually, because I really do enjoy what I get to do and the residents I get to serve. I do want to highlight that, as Dr. Gartner said, the majority of the rotations are done at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, which is one of the largest pediatric healthcare systems in the country. So there is a very rich and diverse population for residents to train, and there's a wide variety of pathologies that are seen. I have the pleasure of precepting the residents during their inpatient rotation on one of the quaternary medical campuses. The other thing I would like to highlight again is there are lots of opportunities for different things to do in Atlanta, as well as, again, just the spirit as far as our program is quite palpable. We're all dedicated towards the same thing, and it's really, really enjoyable to have a group of people who are all focused on the same thing. So we would love for you to take a look at our program, look at our website, and hopefully get to see some of you and meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gardner and Dr. Brooks. And for the applicants, I just want to highlight again at the bottom of the screen, there is a link to each of the tag to each of the social media accounts for the programs, and that's standardized for all the presentations if you guys have not seen that and want to follow them on social media. So now we're going to move on to the next program, and that is Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University. We will have Dr. Stallworth and Dr. Schlatter here.
Hi, good evening, everybody. It's so nice to be able to discuss our wonderful program, and nice to see many of my friends from the region and to follow my colleague, Dr. Gardner, over in Atlanta. It's just a great group of pediatricians that we work with. I'm Leila Stallworth. I'm the program director. I have Dr. Lauren Newhall, our associate program director, with me as well, and two fabulous residents for later this evening. But I wanted to include a picture of Erica Schlachter. She's our program coordinator, and for the students who may be calling or emailing, she'll be the person who's helping you out with the application. The Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University is a long-standing program. We have been training pediatric residents for as long as pediatric residents were around to be trained. We're affiliated with one of the largest medical schools in the country, and we are the only public medical school in the state of Georgia, which is a very large state with a lot of needs for primary care. We train 15 residents a year, so we're considered a medium-sized program. We really like that medium-sized feel. We're small enough that everybody knows each other. There's about 90 faculty and 45 total residents. We know each other by name and have great camaraderie, but we're also large enough that our residents get to train at a very large freestanding children's hospital. We're the second largest freestanding children's hospital in the state and the largest outside of the metropolis that is Atlanta. So we've got this nice balance of seeing a wide variety of patients that are sent really from all over the state of Georgia and into South Carolina as well. Our residents also all train at one of our community sites. So we've decided not to make a primary care track. We think it's important for all of our residents to get this exposure. And they train at Aiken Community Hospital for their normal newborn rotation, and also do general pediatrics out there for several rotations throughout their time with us. So it's a great balance of working with general pediatricians with only community-based resources, There are many underserved areas or patients of need in that area who would not be receiving primary care from a pediatrician if we weren't out there. And so it's a great balance to learn at a quaternary place, at the Children's Hospital of Georgia, but then also practice at the community site. At the Children's Hospital of Georgia, we have the highest level of NICU and PICU, and we have a level 2 pediatric trauma center. So we really take care of the vast majority of the state that's not cared for in Atlanta. And as mentioned, we do our normal newborn and community peds in nearby Aiken, South Carolina. Our curriculum is very flexible with a flexible individualized curriculum for our residents. About half of our residents go into primary care. That might be in a small town somewhere. It might be international. It might be in a large city or a suburban setting. And we really want to train our residents for what they need when they finish with us. We also have about 50% of our residents who go into fellowship. And that could be nearby or anywhere across the country. We do have a scholarly activity requirement for all of our residents. We feel that that's important during residency to learn about scholarship. And we do include our MCG Pediatric podcast as part of that scholarship. So if you're interested in listening to our podcast, you'll hear from several of our residents and maybe get to know our faculty as well. Because we're affiliated with a large medical school, we get the benefit of a 40,000 square foot procedure and simulation site. And our residents go over there. We take a group of residents over there once per block. Let's see. For our location, we are a small town for many, but it's actually the third largest city in the state of Georgia. We're in a very growing area. Our residents have a very short commute, a low cost of living. Evans, Georgia, which is one of our main suburbs, was named the #1 place to live in the US by Money Magazine in 2020. And that was related to diversity and cost of living and what you can enjoy in our region. There's a wide variety of communities and living options. Many of our residents do buy houses. And there's lots of outdoor activities in Augusta. As they mentioned at the start for the Southeast region, we have a lot of those things. We're actually 2 hours from the beach, 2 hours from the mountains. We're on the beautiful Savannah River. And lots of our residents spend their free time outdoors. For diversity, we have a monthly conversation between faculty and residents that we call Connected Conversations. This is led by our DEI Vice Chair, Dr. Hartman. We also have a didactic curriculum that's focused on addressing social determinants of health, and our pediatric residents serve on department and campus-wide DEI committees. With that, I think I'll probably stop. I wasn't timing myself, but I bet I'm near the end. And I hope that y'all will follow us on social media. We have a very active social media account that will let you know what we're up to and get a good feel for our residents.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Stallworth. And we're going to move on to the next program. Just a reminder for PDs to keep their presentations to about 5 minutes, and I'm going to give the floor to the University of Florida Pediatric Residency, Pensacola.
Hi.
And we have Dr. Wilkinson here to present.
Hi, I'm Dr. Diane Wilkinson, and I'm with the University of Florida in pediatric program in Pensacola. And I've actually am a graduate of this program. I graduated 30 years ago and had the wonderful opportunity to become program director 4 months ago. So I'm new to that role, but I'm really enjoying taking that on. I'm going to turn over the rest of our time to the APD, Dr. Carrie Garrison, and she's going to tell you about our program.
Hey guys, thanks so much for the opportunity, and thank you guys for taking the time to learn about our programs. And it's really great company to be in here tonight. And thanks to Diane for being a cornerstone in our program for years and years and years. I took over this position a couple of years ago, and been here in Pensacola for about 6 years. So I'm going to tell you about our program and our city and why we'd love to have you come check us out. So the University of Florida program here in Pensacola is a little bit different. It's what I'd like to call a hybrid type program. It's a community-based hospital with a freestanding children's hospital building and an academic affiliation. So I like to tell people about how it's the best of both worlds. You can get a very strong primary care experience here and a very wide breadth of opportunity here with our diverse subspecialty training that we offer. We have over 30 subspecialty training experiences here. So you're not going to miss anything being here. We are a small to medium-sized program, 9 residents per year. So we like being that size. We anticipate maybe growing a little bit in the next couple of years as we have plenty of opportunity. We have a brand new children's hospital that I like to highlight. It was opened in 2019. And so our current group of residents really got to see sort of where we came from and where we are now. And we are part of a larger adult system, Ascension Health, if you're familiar with that national health care institution. But our academic affiliation really rounds that out and gives our residents a great training experience. We have dedicated pediatric ER, dedicated pediatric ORs, level 3 NICU, PICU, peds HEMONC units, very individualized units that are very children specific and have all the ancillary staff to treat pediatric patients as they should be, kids. So we really pride ourselves on our new children's hospital. And in addition to that, we have a strong focus on primary care, and Dr. Wilkins can speak to that as she's been here for 30 years. And she is a part of our continuity clinic, which is here on site. And that's really another thing that I think is special about our program. Everything's here clinically on site. So you don't have to travel or commute to go anywhere to get your training. It's all really right here on campus. Our curriculum is special in that it's individualized as well, flexible and individualized. We think every resident has different needs. And we even have electives as early as the intern year, which I know some residents like to hear. We have that strong continuity clinic experience that I mentioned that's right here on site. It's a newer clinic, and we're proud of that. And residents can walk from their elective or inpatient rotation in the hospital or clinic straight over to the continuity clinic. No driving required. So we like to tell people about that. We also have resident research electives, and we have both on-site faculty mentoring for research, as well as University of Florida academic statistical support should that be required. So again, I just think we have the best of both worlds. Now on to a few other things detail-wise. We are equally distributed, about 50% go into fellowship, about 50% do primary care. In fact, I'm really proud to say that 5 of our 9 graduating residents last year matched into top fellowship programs in each of their first choices. So we're just really proud to highlight the fact that our residents in this small to medium program remain very competitive. So I think sometimes people worry if you don't have a fellowship at your program that you can't go into a fellowship, and that's simply not true. In fact, I think our close-knit group of residents having 9 a year really lends itself to development of relationships with attendings very early on and development of that close-knit family feeling within the program. And you have no other learners that you're competing with for procedures, for example. As I'm an intensivist, you know, our residents are number 1 in line. They're right there doing the procedures with me. So they really enjoy that. Briefly about Pensacola, because before I came here 6 years ago now, I really didn't know much about Pensacola, but if you've ever visited the Gulf Coast, we're very similar to that in that we have a beach. We are on one of the beautiful beaches of the Emerald Coast. If you've ever visited Destin or Orange Beach, we're sort of right in the middle of those two, and white, sandy, beautiful water, 15 minutes from the hospital. So I can't let this 5 minutes go away without saying that you'd have the opportunity to spend 3 years and visit there on your off days. We do have a downtown area, so there's still lots of other things to do as far as dining and outdoor opportunities, farmers markets, dog parks, all the things. And I would be remiss not to mention that our group of residents are quite diverse. They come from all walks of life. They come from all over the world. And we are really, really excited about learning about other cultures, ethnicities, and just, getting to know the individual that trains here. I've learned so much from our residents, and I hope that you all will take the opportunity to check us out on Instagram and our website. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them. And thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dr. Garrison. And we're going to move on to our last program of the night. It's going to be Advent Health for Children Pediatric Residency Program in Orlando. We have the program director, Dr. McConkey, and Dr. Cunningham presenting tonight, and we're going to be really pressed for time here for questions, but try to tweet them or put them in the chat, and I'll try to email them or bring them up. Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll get started. Well, I'm thrilled to be following so many great acts. I would have to echo a lot of what everyone has said, that we're excited to have you guys listening in and considering our programs. I think the main highlights for our programs, things that I like to talk about, we are a small residency program. We're the smaller one in Orlando, one of the 3 in Orlando. We are part of a very large hospital system. We're Advent Health is the second largest non-for-profit in the United States. We are part of a 25 hospital system in Central Florida, and a lot of our patients come not only from Orlando, but from all across Central Florida. So we're fed by a very diverse group of patients, diverse pathology. We really get to see some amazing stuff. And I will echo what Dr. Garrison was saying, in that our residents really are first line for all things like procedures, seeing patients. We don't have fellows in our hospital. And so our residents really get first crack at all of our patients and get amazing numbers of procedures and opportunities to get to know the faculty. And I would agree that being part of a small program, I think that the faculty really enjoy watching the residents grow and develop, and speaking up for them, advocating for them when they go into fellowships. After this year, we'll be about 40% going into fellowships. We've had PICU, EM, hospitalist, developmental behavioral, little bit of everything, and have 5 of my 6 graduates this coming year going into fellowships. So we're very excited to support them. And I would second the notion that you don't have to come from a program with fellowships to get in a fellowship. I think one of the most fun things about our hospital is our partnership with Disney. Disney helped design our children's hospital, which I don't think it can get any better than that in terms of having fun characters show up and have great design for your hospital. We have a beautiful place to work where we have some great pictures and things, lots of information on our website. I want to make sure everybody goes and checks that out. We have some interesting opportunities outside that. I'll let Shani talk a little bit about that, since I'm about halfway through our time. Shani's my associate program director, and I think she's going to talk a little bit about the diversity initiatives, simulation, and our Flourish program.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I know that we don't have much time, but I do want to say thank you to everyone that joined in, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone during interview season. So just quickly about our diversity initiatives, we do have a longitudinal diversity curriculum that we go through the course of the year. As a residency program, I think our residents look like the community that we serve. So Orlando is an extremely diverse city, but our program, I think, nicely reflects that. And we try to draw on that diversity and talk about the strengths that we each can bring to the table during the time that we have. In addition to that, we call on our Sim Center and we do some simulations for D&I topics using actors and actresses from the Orlando area. Another one of the highlights I think that we have is our Scholarship Oversight Committee. So we partner with the Center for Collaborative Research, and we have assistance with all of the activities you could think of in order to do grant writing, turn in any scholarly project, papers, In addition to that, we also have the support of our faculty who actually go one-on-one with you to help you fine-tune anything that you might be interested in, or if you have a project that you are trying to launch, help you get that project off the ground. As far as QI, nationally, we're a part of the AAP initiatives through the VIP curriculum for inpatient medicine. Our hospital has participated in the last 5 or 6 initiatives that have come through the pipeline. And so we're excited to start on the next one that'll be starting in November of this year. And as far as wellness, we have a Flourish program where we participate with the Center for Physician Wellness to ensure that our residents have the access that they need to any program. Dr. McConkey, I will stop because I know that we are down to 45 seconds, it looks like.
Yes, thanks, Shani. I appreciate it. I think I'll shut it down there. So I don't know if we're gonna have any time to do questions, but I want you guys to get a chance to get your questions answered if possible.
Yeah, sorry about running out of time here for questions since we got started a little bit later tonight. Program directors, I encourage you guys, if you guys saw any questions directed to your program in the chat, to please take the time to message back the students. Students, we are going to be coming back together in the general room for our happy hour with the residents, and you guys are encouraged to have any drink of your choice